Well, with just one new case in the past 13 days, PEI is looking at lifting their public health restrictions, easing some of those with their PEI Together plan. Joining us this morning is that province's Premier, Dennis King. Good to have you with us on your morning.
Oh, thank you very much, Henry. Good to be here.
You said yesterday you want to see some regular activity return. It's important for islanders to be able to socialize with their loved ones. Your plan has the province beginning its phases of reopening as soon as Friday. What will people be able to do?
Well, I think to begin on Friday, we'll be able to move around a little bit more than we've ever had in the last 8 weeks. Essentially, like the rest of the country, we've been in lockdown and in isolation. Now we're going to allow outdoor gatherings, deck and driveway gatherings, we call them, and people will begin to move around, and we'll begin to slowly ease our economy back into some kind of on the road to some kind of new normal.
Deck and driveway gatherings, but only for 5 people or less, which is important to point out. Looking ahead, you've said daycares may be able to reopen as part of phase 2. The plan so far is that to be May 22nd. Quebec also planning to reopen schools and daycares, but there has been some criticism of that move. What will you be watching for as daycares reopen?
Well, I think, look, one of the big things we have to be mindful of is just how we all interact and learn to live with COVID. So obviously in our child care facilities, that would be locations where large groups of people would be gathering. So we need to find a way to help our child care providers to be able to provide that service more carefully, more mindful of the guidelines from public health. But we also need to realize that if we're going to turn this economy back on and begin the process to do so, with schools and PEI not going to reopen, we need to find a way to make sure there are childcare activities for even a greater number of people. So that's just one of the many challenges we are trying to work our way through.
Yeah, what else will you and your Chief Medical Officer of Health, Dr. Morrison, be looking at to make sure the province doesn't have to backtrack, doesn't have to reclose?
Well, I think like every other jurisdiction, Anne-Marie, we will be watching what our caseload is, what our trajectory is. To date, we have been very fortunate, knock on wood, that we haven't had community spread. We've had just 27 cases overall. So that puts us in the position that we are in. But we need to be very mindful of the epidemiology. We have to be mindful, as you talked about earlier, what the premiers and the prime minister have put together is a general plan and consensus that each jurisdiction has to be mindful of what they're capable of looking after. So all of that will need to be taken into account, and we have to now take a pause of a few weeks in between our phases to actually see what opening up the economy and having more opportunities to move around with each other and see what the impacts are.
A chunk of PEI's economy, as you're talking about, happens in the summertime with the tourism to your beautiful island, which I myself have enjoyed. Your tourism slogan is "Come find this island." Looking ahead to summer, what are you thinking in terms of tourism? What do you want to say to people who are looking at maybe keeping their plans of coming to PEI for the summer?
I think we need a little bit more time. I would think if we're talking honestly right now, I think the tourist season that we normally would have will not happen. We still have to maintain the screening process that we have at our border entries. I think we will be encouraging a lot of staycations here in Prince Edward Island. We might have an opportunity down the road, because New Brunswick is in a similar situation, to have some flow of traffic between those two provinces as the summer moves on. But I think, quite honestly, the impact of tourism will be dramatic this year, and it really pains us. I need to say that as Islanders, as you know, having been here, we are very famous for being hospitable, for welcoming with open arms. So it's really difficult for us to tell people who want to be here that they can't come right now. So it really is a difficult situation for us, and it'll be one of the things we need to evaluate on a weekly basis heading forward.
Premier King, I want to thank you for coming on your morning today. We wish you continued good health, and we will be watching closely as PEI begins the first phases of easing restrictions as of this Friday. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you, Anne-Marie. It was great to be on. Stay safe, everyone.
Thanks for watching. If you like this, be sure to subscribe here.
And you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.